The ABCD community are back again with their absurdity and all of their nonsense, and Michael Knowles is here to have a discussion just on the ABCD community and their nonsense. But as I usually say, before we get into the video, like the video as much as possible, comment down below, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on X and Instagram at YinkaThatGuy. So let us get into the video.
Spoke at the University of Utah's College of Social Work to the excitement of many students, but to the outrage of others.
Hey, hey, ho, ho! Transphobia has got to go! Hey, hey!
Is it a safe place for your conservative students?
Of course.
How would they know that coming in here when there's a sign that literally says they are not welcome?
Now, why on earth would conservative students not feel welcome on a public university campus?
Hey, Michael Knowles from Public Life!
However, after the TikToks were posted and the mob felt that its objective was complete, one student decided to peek his head in. Like most students, Daniel had never actually listened to my show or to any of my speeches. He simply came to protest because his friends said he should. Because, they said, the speaker was a bad guy. Happily, Daniel decided to investigate the matter himself and crossed the picket line to hear what I had to say. Daniel, thank you for sitting down.
Thank you for having me.
So you were not in the lecture?
No.
You were not in the, but you were outside with the protesters?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So did you catch the lecture by any chance? Did you get to watch it?
No, sir.
No.
You want to give me a brief rundown?
Sure. It was like probably a 20-minute lecture, but basically my point was that not only is transgender ideology wrong, but, and not only is it harmful to the people who fall into it, but that it's a particularly American problem. It's particularly prominent and growing in America. And so I kind of went through some of the reasons that I think that is. America is the land of opportunity. You know, we're
the land of freedom. The
land of freedoms. And so that's a lovely thing and can be a wonderful thing. But no one can be free from the truth. We should never wish to be free from the truth because it is the truth itself that sets us free. And so this kind of unrestrained, unbridled sense of freedom is leading people to destroy themselves and to destroy their own identity.
What is the problem if males can transition to females and do the same exact thing?
This is the same thing that all of these woke ABCD people ask. What is wrong with people identifying as a woman if they're a man or a man if they're a woman? The thing that's wrong with it is because it is not the truth. And as much as all of you like to say that it doesn't affect anyone, it really does because we live amongst each other. So when you start saying that you're a man and you're actually a woman, other people will begin to look and ask themselves, isn't that a lie? So you are now programming and conditioning people to tell lies because of how you feel. That is why it is wrong.
They can't, is the problem. A man can't actually transition to be a woman. So even, for instance, if a man undergoes a surgical procedure to make his...
say he cuts it off, right?
He cuts it off, or actually what usually happens is they like kind of chop it up and invert it so it kind of more resembles... It's not actually the female anatomy. He can't actually like give birth. You know, he's not actually going to have a womb. He's not going to have ovaries. He might be able to look a little bit more like a woman, but he can't actually become a woman.
So say if that's who he truly believes she is, you know what I'm saying? What is the problem with that in your mind?
That he's wrong about that.
Why is that wrong to you, though?
Well, it's not that it's wrong to me. I perceive that it is wrong because I have faculties of reason, and you know, we all have eyes. You can see like a big dude in a dress, you know, is that probably a man, right? So, and also because I have faculties of reason, I know that a man can't actually become a woman. He won't be able to give birth. His chromosomes won't magically change. He won't have had the development from the moment of his conception, certainly through his childhood and teens, actually to be a woman. So it's not that I have anything against the guy. It's not that I wish him ill, quite the opposite. I hope that he can flourish, but he's not going to flourish by by pretending to be something other than what he is.
And more on what Michael Knowles just pointed out, it's just the fact that it also brings about a dysfunctional society, which is what we are seeing right now in the West. Because if you can now say as a man that you identify as a woman because you feel that way, what other things is it that you can start lying about because of how you feel? This society has become a feeling society and dispose of the truth in replacement of how people feel, which is all absolute nonsense. It's created a dysfunctional society, as I've said, which is what we are seeing right now.
So, do you necessarily have a problem with a man identifying as a woman, as of like a man truly believing he is a woman?
Well, both would be wrong and unfortunate, right? But in the case of public life, you know, if a guy has some crazy idea in his head, but it doesn't affect other people, then, you know, I guess he can keep that idea in his head, and it's not much skin off my nose. But the moment that he does this in public, it does start to affect other people. So if the man, for instance, says that he's a woman, and now he wants to go into the women's bathroom, that is infringing on the legitimate rights of women to have their own bathroom that men can't go into.
So then I guess I ask, my follow-up is, is there a problem with gender-neutral bathrooms? Or like, what's the feeling on this?
Call me old-fashioned. I don't like to use the bathroom with a lot of women around me. Call me a fuddy-duddy. But even beyond my preferences, there are a lot of women who do not want to use the bathroom or undress in a changing room around men.
Say I was in there as a straight white male, right?
Yeah.
Granted, I am an ally, I am whatever. I don't think a lot of my friends would be comfortable with me being in the bathroom with them, right?
Right, exactly.
But if someone truly like gets it inverted, whatever, you know, cancel me if I said it wrong. But if they do that, what is the problem with them going into a female bathroom if they look like a female?
Well, they're not actually women. And so they're still physically much stronger than women. They still have the same kinds of drives that men have that women don't exactly have. There's no rule that says that they have to, you know, chop it off or invert it. So actually, a lot of the trans-identifying men who say that they're women, they still have all the appendages, you know, and they're practically still men because they are still men. And so the question then is, who has a more legitimate claim to a right? The man who's pretending to be a woman, which he actually is not, or the woman who wants to just be safe and have a little privacy in her own bathroom that is intended only for women.
And we've seen cases where this has happened, where men claim to be women and are placed into women's prisons, and there are things that happen between the man claiming to be a woman and the women in that prison. But because of feelings, people allow this nonsense to happen. And as Michael Knowles pointed out, what about the women who don't want this nonsense? Just because you look like a woman doesn't mean you are a woman. It's really that simple.
Changing room, for instance.
No, I get that, because I went through like swim team, I went through hockey locker rooms, like I've been through all. But if a man truly believes like he is transgender, I don't, I guess, see a problem.
But what if the woman doesn't truly believe that he's a woman because he's not a woman? Doesn't the woman have some right to reality?
I mean, I guess I couldn't say reality, because what is reality? It's what we perceive, is it not?
Hi. I don't want to delve too much into philosophy, but if you can't even understand or don't know what reality is, this conversation shouldn't even be happening. Because if you want to go down that path of questioning what reality is, and reality is what we perceive, you can say that about anything, and you wouldn't be able to question the next person who perceives reality a certain way, because reality is perception. Isn't that correct?
Not.
Well, some people incorrectly perceive reality, but you're right that it is a thing that we perceive that is outside of us.
It's an individual thought process.
No, well, the perception would be individual, but the reality would not. So
That
reality
would be
is
an objective.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. To be honest, I feel like I should support as a Jewish person, right, with all this stuff going on with Palestine and Israel, like, I'm in favor of human rights. And if someone wants to identify as something that they biologically should not be, I don't have a problem with it.
And that's exactly the issue. You could have the truth in front of your face, but because you want to cater to people's feelings, you will forgo the truth in replacement of people's feelings. And that's what the issue is. Because if you're going to start here and say that men can be women, and even if it's biologically false, you will still allow them to engage in that nonsense because of feelings, we can do that with a variety of things and say that because of how people feel, we're going to lie about what is true to cater to them. The fact that he doesn't even see how absurd that is goes to show you the decadence of the Western world and how far we are falling, or how far we are falling. And if people do not begin to speak up on this nonsense, it will continue to happen. But anyway, that was another video, another reaction. As I usually say, if you guys enjoyed the video, like the video as much as possible, comment down below, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on X and Instagram at YinkaThatGuy, and I am out.